there are no easy games, as we know, in the JD Cymru Premier. But looking back to the win at Connahs Town, what do you take from that game, both from a positive perspective and also perhaps a could have done better category?
Yeah, well, there were both those areas. I feel there were plenty of areas in the positives that were good, but then also plenty of areas that we could have improved on. So the fact we kept our fourth clean sheet in a row, I think, is a huge positive. That's something that we've got into the habit of as a whole team, from the front right to the back, which is great. The fact that we found a way to win in that game, I think, was very important. There's a lot of winners in this side and winners in this team, and that was very pleasing that they found a way to win. In terms of the areas of improvement, we probably didn't work their keeper enough and create nearly as much as what we have done in previous games, or what we would have liked to. Probably a little bit to do with the opposition as well, so credit to them. I thought Connahs were very organised, similar to the last game that we played, but that caused us a problem, so it took us a long time to break them down. But we would definitely want to create more and penetrate more and push more in the final third, I think you'd have to say. I mean, we won 2-0, but the keeper didn't make a save. So it says, one, how tight the game is, but two, obviously an area that we can improve on slightly. But plenty of positives to take from it, but we always look as staff and players, always areas to improve. So we got the players in today, even though we got back late last night, did a video debrief to show the areas that we needed to improve on the game. So even though we won 2-0, we're never happy and always want to improve.
You've won 4 from 4 as the head coach of the New Saints, scored 10 goals, yet to concede. Excellent from a statistical point of view, but what about the overall performances that you've witnessed? Have you been happy, or do you feel there's still a long way to go before you would look back and say, I've reached the point at which I am now contented, although still wanting more from the side?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I think we'll always be wanting more from the side, because there's definitely a lot of areas to improve. I think this is a good playing squad and a good team. However, there is certainly a few 3 or 4 key areas that I think we're working on at the moment and that we can improve. So yeah, I mean, look, you need to be happy with 4 wins from 4. I think that's a long run of games where we're unbeaten now. I think it's 7 wins in a row, if I'm right by those stats. So that's a positive too. So we're happy with how we're going along at the moment. I think for me personally, every game's been a different challenge, and this one Saturday will be no different, a totally different challenge to what we would have faced on Tuesday night. So that's been quite interesting, how the team's been able to adapt and change to meet that different sort of circumstances of what the opposition are doing and how they're playing, but still implement our game on them as well. So although some of the games have been tight, I still feel like we've played well in those games, but then also in some of the ones that haven't been as tight, it's been areas for improvements as well. So I think you can look at it from both ways, but look, if we haven't conceded a goal for 4 games and we've won the last 7, I think it's definitely a positive. But we want to try and raise the standards and keep improving all the time, and the players know that, and that's why we keep working hard on the training pitch and showing a lot of videos and getting on the front foot with their learning. I think that regardless of how old players are, they can still learn and get better. They're all at different stages in their career, but we feel if we make every individual player better, then that makes the whole team better, and that might just get that extra 5-10% to carry us through to get the wins, or first of all to get the performances, to then get the wins, to then hopefully push on and win that league.
It's match day 27 on Saturday as we host Connahs Quay Nomads. It's a massive game for both sides, matching each other statistically as far as the table's concerned. Just goal difference that separates the sides. As you said just now, the New Saints on a run of 7 consecutive victories. Connahs Quay have won 3 on the bounce. There's a lot at stake, of course, and is it as much a must not lose game as it is a must win game?
Well, I mean, yeah, when I first come in to take this job, there was 10 games to go, and the target was to go into every game and try and win every game. You'd like to hope that you've got a chance of doing that. We have done so far, which has been great, but we'll always look forward to winning the next game. And when we're at home, and whenever you're taking a TNS team, I think it's important that you get in that mentality, and that's the mentality we'll have going into this game on the weekend. We want to try and win the game. We'll be on the front foot. We want to try and score goals, obviously keep the clean sheets that we have done, but no, there's no doubt about it, we'll be looking and trying to get on the front foot and try and win the game.
Obviously you, the staff, the players were focused on the Carnarvon game yesterday, but there were a number of changes in the starting lineup, also substitutions at various points during the game. Were they made with perhaps one eye on the big fixture coming up this weekend?
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, we'd played a lot of games in a small space of time, so having been that Saturday, Tuesday, it got to the point where there were certain players who were carrying knocks or injuries we needed to rest. Whether they'll be fit and available for Saturday, we're not sure yet. We're still working hard with the medical team at the moment, so we'll find out how they are for the weekend. But yeah, we always try and concentrate on the next game, so we didn't want to rest any players at all, but we felt sort of injury-wise we needed to, and some weren't available, and hopefully some might be back available this weekend, but we'll have to see for that.
No fans allowed in Welsh games at the moment, but it is live on TV, and that always creates an added expectancy and raises the profile of the game in question. How do you get the balance between respecting Connahs Quay Nomads' excellent season so far with the message that you will give to the players, look, we can and we will win this game?
Yeah, I think a bit of a balance between the two. I've been really impressed with Connahs Quay and what they've done over the previous seasons. The way they play obviously is a very clear style of how they do it, very direct, very physical, and they do it very well. I've been very impressed with how organised they are, very good from set plays, and they're a real handful to play against in this league and can score plenty of goals but also be defensively tight too. I think that's going to be a real challenge for us, there's no doubt about that. We're definitely a different style team, and there's different ways that you can win a game, that's for sure, and they do that way really well, so we do have a lot of respect for them, there's no doubt about that. And me personally, who have watched a lot of them recently and in preparing for this job, know that they're a real threat, and with what they did last season and how they've started this season, or where they are up till this point, is a positive in their point, and we know what they're good at, and we know also that we've highlighted some areas of weakness for them as well. So I think it's a bit of both. It's a lot about us also too. I feel like if we're on our game, implementing the things that we do well, then that will help us get the good performance, which will equal the win too. So yeah, a bit of both, prepping for them but not going too much over them, and making sure that we get things right our end as well.
And finally, the availability of the players as we look ahead to Saturday.
Yeah, well, there's a few that we're not sure about. So some of the ones who weren't involved on Tuesday night, last night, we're not sure if they'll be fit. So that was Spender, Redmond, who weren't involved in the game. We're not sure if they're going to be ready or not yet. There was a couple of others, like obviously Brobel was on the bench. He played a lot of game time recently. Whether he'll be physically feeling up to it for Saturday or not, we're not sure. It was good to see Louis Robles again play a little bit more game time as well, so he's played more. So apart from that, with Dean obviously being out injured, that's probably where we are with some of those.